Talking with Words.
Hey, welcome back to Talking with Words. You're here with Rob,
Sally,
David,
and Ryan.
And tonight we're going to watch the newly released Violent Night, starring David Harbour and John Leguizamo, and famous from another Christmas movie, Beverly D'Angelo.
Ooh, she has not aged well,
Man, don't tell her that.
according to the Old Navy commercials
Old Navy commercial.
2 years
Wait,
ago.
I,
Yes.
I didn't think that Old Navy commercials were critical of aging.
They're not. I
gonna
said
say,
she hasn't
they are
aged well
old.
by looking at her in the Old Navy commercials.
Gotcha.
Oh. We're going to have to clean that up in post.
Okay.
Not going to do it. This movie's described, if you haven't seen all the commercials, it looks amazing. When a group of mercenaries attack the estate of a wealthy family, Santa Claus must step in to save the day and Christmas.
Oh.
I'm just excited to see David Harbour be an angry Santa and John Leguizamo be a gangster again.
It's pretty spectacular.
Probably not going to be any Carlio's way, but you know, we'll see. Hey, Sally.
Hey, Rob.
Hi.
Hey.
Parents got us.
Okay. Sex and nudity. None. Does it sound right? None. Sex and nudity, there's none.
That's accurate.
That sounds good.
Okay. I mean,
not
Santa's
good, but
shirtless
I'll
in a
take it.
scene, but okay. Violence and gore is severe.
Perfect.
A lot of stuff happening on that. Profanity, severe.
Oh, we can't watch this.
Well, it's the F word and the S word, and then the words like butthole and anus are mentioned. So,
Fukushima.
yeah. And then
Shiitake. All right.
alcohol, drugs, and smoking are just mild. But frightening and intense scenes are moderate. And that is based on 70 votes.
Hey, also, don't start telling us shit that we're going to find out soon about
I'm
14-year-old
not.
girls getting brained or
I'm
whatever
just
the
telling you
hell.
based on 70 user votes.
All right.
It's moderate. I will not tell you what it says below it.
Good. We can talk about that later.
Thank you.
You know, after we watch the movie.
Okay.
Anybody want to... Ryan, you've seen this,
I've
right?
seen it. It's amazing. Yeah.
You looked very happy when I told you what we were watching tonight,
Yes.
so I'm going to give that a
I think-
positive.
I think you guys will enjoy this film.
All right.
We better watch out.
Better not cry.
I don't get it. All right. We'll be back in the shake of a reindeer's cock. I don't know.
When we could be together in harmony, you know the time will come.
That was great.
delicious.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hell out of that movie.
Told you.
Before we even start, I'm going to go say watch it now. It's still in theaters.
Yeah.
I might go watch it in theaters.
Oh, you don't want to go with James at 1:40 in the afternoon tomorrow?
Well, James doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. James is retired. He's
He has
trustable or
He has
whatever.
a job. He works 4.5 hours a week.
That's true. He does sling booze.
He has a hobby.
Yeah. He just stands behind a bar when he does it.
Yeah. It's his side hustle, right? Isn't that the term now? What everyone goes for?
Yeah.
And I think he does the hustle while he does it.
I don't disbelieve that.
Last time I was up there was not a whole lot of hustle going on.
Well, they had Santa there for the dogs.
Yeah. I wasn't there that time.
Wait, Santa for the dogs?
Yeah.
Like, you go take pictures of the dogs at
It's like
Pounds.
It's like PetSmart, but they serve booze while you're doing it.
Okay.
Yeah. Light beverages and snacks.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Santa movie we just watched.
Yeah.
I want to just start at the beginning and walk through it. We usually kind of jump around, but there are so many different movie references. And this is one of those rarities where they actually reference the movie. They say it out loud while they're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do a Home Alone. I'm like, okay, just going to go for it, huh? And the only one that, like, they did a bunch of them, but it opens like it's the Bad Santa opening with the Billy Bob Thornton at the bar, except he's actually Santa.
Not fake Santa.
Fantastic. I mean, he didn't piss himself and make fun of midgets, but it wasn't far off. He was talking about retiring and whatnot.
He was talking shit to the reindeer.
He did talk shit to the reindeer. And he was in, it looked like he was at a pub. I don't know if he was supposed to be in England or something.
Yeah.
Everybody had accents.
Yeah, it was England. I forget the name of the town, but
Which
yeah, it was
makes
in
sense
England.
if he's taking it. What do you say? He's taking a break from working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
enjoyed
he-
that.
Yeah, he even puked after he left the bar, just like in Bad Santa.
Except
Except
on top of the barkeep
Yeah,
this time.
A poor lady.
But you know what?
she
Now she believes.
she believes in Santa now, though.
There are a bunch of people I didn't recognize when we went through the IMDb. Jason, the dad in this, is played by, you'd recognize him if you watch The Boys. He's translucent. Or if you watched Cowboy Bebop before it got canceled, God damn it, he was the bad guy in that.
Yeah.
The sister, we just saw her in the Majestic Gemstones.
Made in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Made in Manhattan, yes. J-Lo is in this. And then you recognize
Cam, I don't know.
some of the
Gigandet, I think that's how you pronounce
that
his
it?
last name.
Sure.
Yeah, he was the one of the bad vampires in the first Twilight movie, but his big role was he played kind of the bad guy and Never Back Down. It was him and Sean Ferris and the kid from American Horror Story.
The Romance for the Ages. Never Back Down. I don't remember that one.
Amber Heard was in it.
That might be why I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
I was gonna say a couple of people I recognized. So the guy that was the elf.
Yeah, Freddy vs. Jason is what I remember him from.
Called himself Krampus. Yeah, Brendan Fletcher. I couldn't figure out what I recognized him from, and I think it's The Pacific. 'Cause he
Oh,
was in
yeah.
that, back in the day. But man, and we'll get to that. But what a delightful character. And then the head commando was played by Mike DePude. I think I don't know his last name. I've seen that guy in a lot of stuff.
He looked really familiar.
Like he
was in Predator and X-Men.
he pops up a lot as a commando leader, actually, or just as kind of one of those too tough to handle villains.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
He was a large man. I say was. No, he didn't go in the wood chipper or
could still
anything.
be. Yeah,
he might
no.
still be. We don't know.
Threw himself in the wood chipper.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. These kids.
They just keep killing themselves.
We'll get to that movie sooner or later.
Yeah, we have to.
So this starts off with, obviously you have Santa at the bar talking about, it might be his last year, you know, greed is so powerful, yada, 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 the basic Christmas tropes. He runs up to the roof and flies away, and that's what gives him the leverage, shall we say, to puke on the barkeep.
Yeah.
And-
Not driving. He just steers a little.
He just steers a little.
The reindeer do most of the work.
Exactly. Which I was wondering about that later on. I'll get to that. And then we have that cut to the dad, Jason,
They're picking him up.
who we start with another Christmas trope of the broken family, the separated parents, all that fun stuff. The dad's being super fun, and the mom is just not having it, which we see a lot in, I don't know, Die Hard,
Yeah.
other Christmas movies. Just pick one.
Well, let's hope this doesn't end up like Die Hard.
Yeah.
You know, where the mother ends up ultimately leaving him and then turning the child against him.
Well, she
She came back in the 17th iteration of Die Hard, though.
Die Hard 17th.
Yeah.
Die the hardest. Indeed. It's just Bruce Willis in a chair.
That was one of the only movies Justin Long didn't die in. Came close.
Yeah. He did a Christmas movie. We'll see if he dies in that when we go through our Christmas
Yeah.
bozo shit we're going to do.
Ho ho no.
Oh, no. Yeah. So we kind of set the stage with the threesome, the mom, dad, and the daughter, and they're going to the dad's family, who is Beverly D'Angelo is the hierarch.
The
Matriarch? Yeah.
matriarch of the
Let's get it right.
Lightstone clan.
Yeah, that was a weird. I don't know where that name came from. I don't know if there was supposed to be something else there.
I would assume from someone's imagination.
You know what? That makes pretty good sense. Somebody probably just wrote it down on a piece of paper and they're like, yeah, that'll work. That's a name. And two things happen from here. We get our intro, which we have the Santa montage, which I really enjoyed. Him pissing on DC, shotgunning a beer.
Yes.
What else was he doing?
Which, by the way, I just want to point out, I think we all agreed at that point that one of our life goals now is to shotgun a beer with David Harbour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Harbour, you now know what we want for Christmas every year. And you pick the beer. That's fine.
Yeah.
We're okay with that. And then he goes in that one house and he trades the beer. I said steal, but he kind of trades the beer for a gift with the passed out dad with the daughter in the crib. Dad of the year. We also, right with that same kind of back and forth, we get introduced to the rest of the, was it Lightstone? Lightstone family, which what a treat these people are to hang out with.
Jesus.
And you also have the introduction to who is eventually going to be all of the bad people, the mercenaries or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And I love the sister. She's so shitty.
Yeah, she's a terrible mom.
It's just a terrible person.
And sibling,
all around,
yeah.
so.
Yeah, she did say kill my brother like 3 times in the movie. Like, go just kill him. It's fine.
She was a good kiss ass. That's about all she was good at.
Which Righteous
And being
Gemstones.
terrible.
She really wasn't that good at it, though. That's the thing. She thought she was good at it, but she wasn't.
She was the only one that really put an effort into being a kiss ass.
What did she call him? Like the first time she saw him, like you little ass lip, dick lip, something. I need to go write that one down. I need to use that one. That was a decent one. And this, I had another thought when have you guys ever seen the movie Greed?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe I have.
It's been a while.
It's Michael J. Fox. It's got Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
No.
It's about a family that's trying to convince the grandfather to give them all the money when he dies.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he has like the hat that he wears.
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Which I do want to do that one at some point. That's a decent one to go back and watch. It reminded me a lot of that in the beginning.
Quick question: Is that movie what convinced your dad to put in a saltwater pool?
Absolutely. He knows that he's going to potentially lose the loss of his legs at some point. So
it makes you float.
yeah, it helps you float. Exactly.
I'd forgotten all about that movie.
Oh man, I used to watch that once a week. We didn't have a lot of movies, and
At Event Horizon, apparently.
yes, and Event Horizon.
Explains a lot.
Yeah, when we have that moment with her and her boyfriend, I'm guessing is who was it Mike?
Mike Steele.
Mike Steele. Man, what a porn name.
He's a really big deal in certain parts of Asia.
Yeah.
So are we. And I almost said it, but I decided to save it for the pod. Us too, Mike. And their kid, Bertrude.
Yeah,
Yes.
Bertrude. Named after Grandma Gertrude.
Grandma Gertrude.
The same as his cousin Gertrude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, of course, Bertrude is
Bert
a
Lightstone.
influencer. He's running around with his fucking TikTok or whatever he was doing.
What kid isn't these days?
Douchey McDoucherson.
True. Very true. We have from there to essentially when the daughter goes to bed. Is there any moment? Is there like a whole dinner moment that I'm missing?
No, they didn't make it.
Because they talk about going to dinner, and then
We never actually see him in dinner. The closest thing we see is the charcuterie board when she is laying them lengthwise instead of widthwise, apparently.
Oh yeah, the bartender.
Yeah.
Yeah, who also cut the limes the wrong way. I think. Is,
Yeah, that's
limes,
What it was.
that's what it
It's cutting
was.
the limes.
is that okay? So was that?
They had a charcuterie board there though too.
Which I thought it was interesting that they were having dinner, but before they had dinner, they were putting Trudy to bed, giving her a walkie-talkie, that has a direct connection to Santa.
No,
Die Hard.
I think
And-
that happened after everything. I think they'd already finished with dinner.
Well, because
We just didn't see
did it?
dinner.
Okay. So we
Yeah.
just kind of skipped ahead to that part. All right,
yeah, the family's not that weird. They're close.
they're
Yeah,
pretty
they-
weird.
They just have dinner and yell at each other all night.
Yeah, and after the dad goes and gets the walkie-talkie that is a direct line to Santa.
That's probably his old junk from when he was a kid.
Absolutely, he knew exactly where it was. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And we had, I think it's during this, we kind of have one of those old 90 action movie things where Santa comes in, he grabs a huge candy cane. We see it like twice. He
Mhm.
goes through the game room. We have the walkie-talkie. What else was there that was, set up for the next? Maybe that was it. There were a couple of those things in there. They showed the fire pokers like twice.
Oh, something that you forgot to mention is when Santa was at the bar at the beginning, he was cracking nuts with his bare hands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The strength.
Yeah.
Because he didn't eat a nutcracker like some
No.
people. Because he's a badass.
But I mean, then you've got all these Santa nutcrackers. So he is, he embodies all of Christmas.
Especially the nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, I did like the line when the mother, I don't know if I should call it grandmother, mother, Gertrude, comes in and the little kid's being a shit, and she says, "When he was small, I begged you to beat him."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Great line.
And then she also calls her granddaughter a slut.
Well,
Yeah.
no, she says
Trudy, short for Gertrude, is
she,
a whorish name or
Yeah.
a slutty
Yeah,
name or something
yeah.
like that.
Oh man, she's a fun
Way
lady.
to call out the 7-year-old.
and then when the parents are understandably upset by this, her response is, "Oh, she doesn't know what that word means."
Yeah.
She doesn't know it. It's fine.
Of course, that was shortly after we learned just how shitty the family was with when they're discussing Bertrude's first rape accusation, and
Oh yeah,
they had to pay off the school, and now the gym's named after him.
he's already got a sexual assault.
Yeah, a sexual harassment charge.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, fun people. I think this is where Leguizamo comes in, which you have the code names, the Christmas code names, essentially the intro to Die Hard, which is they all come in force. I forgot the security guard of the entrance. His name was Al,
Yeah.
and well, he doesn't get a cowboy or anything. He just gets shot in the face. But
Let's raise a glass to Al because he just seems
Oh,
like a
we should.
decent guy. I mean,
they said his name multiple times. You think he might have been a little bit more prominent in the movie. To Al.
yeah, I think it was a red herring, but for that moment he was there. He was incredibly likable. It's funny how they'll do that in some films where they'll throw in a character that's only going to be there for the blink of an eye, but you really care about that character and you want them to survive.
Well, that's how you know that John Leguizamo's character was the bad guy.
Yeah, because he shot Al.
He killed Al immediately. First scene he was in.
Just
Also, one more little thing.
He
I
was-
liked that all the weapons had suppressors on them, but they were still loud. Usually don't see that in movies.
mhm.
Well done.
Yeah.
Good job.
Suppressors really aren't that quiet unless you're shooting a 22.
Yeah, they're still popping.
Mm-hmm.
So, at this point, they come in. Oh, you have $350 million or whatever the amount was
$300 million in cash.
in a U.S. or American cash. Or
Yeah.
he said it weird.
It's better than Space Cash.
It depends. It could have been credits.
Yeah.
And
They're only good on Tatooine.
What about Swiss francs? Isn't that what a lot of these
or bearer bonds,
trade in? Yeah.
Bearer bonds.
Bearer bonds, yeah.
which I got to give him props for not going with the black guy with glasses to break open the safe. They went with the little Asian girl that had good eyesight.
Yeah.
Or LASIK or contacts. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
hey, good job taking the high road on that. one.
Or she could have just been leaning really close to the screen.
Just
Yeah.
squinting
Yeah.
really hard. She wasn't Asian. She just had cataracts.
Wait, cataracts? What?
Isn't that bad?
Well, yeah, it's bad. I was just talking about being nearsighted.
Me
you-
too.
You took this way down the road of eye diseases.
There's something wrong with her eyes. I don't know what it is. We're gonna get to the bottom of it.
She was just really high.
That
why they
makes
were
sense,
red.
too.
I've got $5 on glaucoma.
And they gather the whole family in. They're going to break in the safe. And this is not a quiet break-in. I mean, this is a very loud, bloody, shoot 'em up. We're in
They're
charge.
going. Gertrude automatically grabs security and is going for the safe room or panic room.
It's not big enough for all of us. And you go in that safe room, it's fucking gigantic.
Oh, yeah.
It was the size of this room. So it'll probably just fit me and maybe one other. And, of course, the daughter's like, me? Well, maybe this, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can Bert come too?
Yeah, Michael wasn't real family, so they were leaving him.
Yeah, he was, what'd you say, dumb but hot?
Yeah.
And this is also the introduction of how Santa, you expect him to be a fighter, and he is not a fighter in the beginning of this film.
So that
Well, before we get to that, we've missed one thing, and that's when so there's a reason Santa is in this house at this point. He is
delivering presents.
Yeah, he's arrived to deliver presents, but then he was eating some cookies, enjoyed those. The milk was skimmed,
Oh,
he didn't
yeah.
like it.
Oh, yeah.
So then he went and found some sort of top shelf liquor, poured a massive glass of it. It was
Yeah.
just downing it, and then sat down in a massage chair and basically fell asleep.
It just passed out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so Santa is asleep in their house while it's being attacked by these guys.
It's like, yeah. What did he say? That pairs well.
Yeah.
And he's awakened by gunfire.
Yeah, it's the gunshots that wake him up.
Yeah.
And then he's got one of those, oh, shit, while he's running around the house. Just the fact that he was running around the house in a Santa suit kind of, Oh no.
He didn't really go anywhere. He just kind of stayed in that room.
Well, he ran
initially.
like the stairs, and he kept going.
Ran back.
Yeah, well, that's where like you were saying, you thought, oh, this is where he's going to start, cleaning house.
I've got to do something.
But no, he's just creeping around looking.
And he
then
tries to
running away.
he tries to leave. Like he tries to go to the nose trick, but at this point, all of the Christmas belief has been sucked out of the house,
Yeah.
and he can't use the old finger to the nose to get through the fireplace.
He looks out the window and there's the fake icicle spike in the garden
Foreshadowing.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the guy comes in the room, he's behind the tree. He's like, "Hey, don't shoot me!"
Just dropping off some presents.
And they had that one more little caveat they had to get rid of. So the guy shoots the guns, and the reindeer fly away. That way, there's no way Santa can leave at this point, other than just running, which clearly he was not
And
a
luckily,
marathon man.
Luckily,
He
none
wasn't
of
a
the
runner.
reindeer, none of the reindeer got hit by stray gunfire. Actually,
There was
yes,
a lot
there
of
was.
shit.
Yeah, he pointed that out later.
Who was it? Donner.
It would be Donner.
He called one of the reindeer out. He's like, "Really? We can't be a little more professional here?"
Yeah. he had a good rapport with the reindeer. They didn't talk much, but this is the first Santa fight, and
He's a little rusty.
we're graced with two different Christmas things. He had the Christmas lights as they're fighting, and outdoor Christmas tree, icicle, whatever the hell that thing was, which our friend gets impaled on.
Let's call him our acquaintance. I don't really want to call that guy my friend. He wasn't very friendly.
Yeah, we didn't know him that well.
I mean, he did try to kill Santa.
Try and failed.
Yeah.
Horribly. But this also is one of those reset moments where, he's upstairs, he can move around. Now he gets yanked out because he was choking the guy with the Christmas lights, kicked him through the window, and then the Christmas lights are still around him, pull him down.
He has that moment of whoopsie daisy.
Yeah. And he's already pretty beat up. He's not shoeless McLean at this point, but he's already gotten the shit kicked out of him a little bit.
That's because he didn't have some guy sitting next to him on the sleigh saying, "Hey, every time I deliver presents, I take my shoes off and rub my toes through the snow. It feels great."
It feels so good.
I mean, it would have made sense him being in that massage chair. All they had to do was take it one step farther and get the little foot bath in front of it.
Well, he gets half naked later, but that takes a minute. This is also the point where I believe Trudy is trying to talk to him on the walkie-talkie, and it's still not talking to him yet.
Yeah, he grabs the walkie-talkie from the guy.
But you have that cut to where he's trying to get on the phone and trying to call people.
Yeah.
He's trying to call someone to come in because he still doesn't want to have to go back in there and deal with anything.
Yeah, he kind of wanders around. That's when he ends up in the game room.
And he sees, is that when he looks through the window and she's crying, hugging her dad, and he sees her and he's like, oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
And he's still eating his cookies and he's like, oh, I guess I'm going back in. And that's when he goes in the game room and finds the other walkie-talkie and has his next Christmas fight.
He pulled the walkie-talkie off the guy afterwards.
Yeah, because it's not originally paired to the one she has.
Oh,
It's
okay.
It's the magic of Christmas that even he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Which
I did like that a lot.
Yeah,
Really,
Yeah, I
all
don't
you got to do is scroll the channels on there and wait for one to pick up.
I mean, yeah, but that's
He did mention the magic that doesn't make any sense a lot, which it's like, hey, there's loopholes. Fuck it.
I'm not really sure how it works.
Yeah.
the way they approached it though was perfect because they didn't say, "Oh, hey, we just don't know how this works," and then let it go. He constantly brought it up, so it was kind of funny. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
it's just Christmas.
I'm still just
That's
doing
just how
this,
it
I
works.
guess. Yeah.
I just follow the steps, and it works out for me every time.
Yeah.
So this is the second fight, which he does get shot in. We find that out later, though, right?
Yeah.
He
after
gets
the
stabbed.
fight, he's stabbed. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
But this is also when he uses the tree and the star.
Yeah. So he's going through the bag, pulling DVD,
Oh, that's right.
DVD
Trying to
game,
pull that shit out.
Die Hard Blu-ray.
Which again, yeah,
Yeah,
But yeah, he goes through, finally, gets a golf club or whatever, and that's when the fight really starts. And
yeah.
then he goes for the pool balls.
Oh yeah,
was
beats the hell out of the guy with a stocking full of pool balls.
It was a little bit of a Boondock Saints move right there.
Which I thought they were going to go
worst
full
day of my
boondock.
life, man.
Yeah.
This house.
What was
is
great
clean.
about that though is he's swinging around like crazy, and after a couple of hits, it breaks.
Yeah, it
which
rips.
is what would happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It was like that big, thick wool, so it wasn't even like a athletic sock.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of a give on it, and he's down there. He's getting choked out. Or no, he's about to get stabbed. He uses one of the video games to stop the knife going into him. And he's reaching out and grabbing ornaments and breaking them on the guy's head to no effect at all.
Through the dartboard. When he flung the dartboard, all the darts hit him.
That was cool.
That and then him going up and punching that one
Jabs
dart.
one in,
God.
right in the thigh.
Yeah, that's...
Lucky didn't catch the femoral artery
It's
there.
not a bullseye, but it's at least a double. Damn.
Still, I want to, for anyone that hasn't seen this, I want to make clear what we're talking about with the dartboard. Is he grabs it, it's full of darts, and he just kind of
whips it.
Whips it, yeah. And the darts
Whips it real good.
fly out, spin around, and just embed themselves in his enemy. Man, what a great little scene.
He can't explain it sometimes. He just does things.
It's just Christmas magic.
I've actually seen someone get a dart thrown in their finger one time.
I've had one in my ass before.
I feel like that might have been
Hold on, let me
intentional.
rephrase that. I've had one in one of my butt cheeks before.
Wow.
Is dart code for something, Rob? Do we need
Let's
to have
move on.
a discussion?
And
Yeah.
that's when he gets a hold of the tree topper, which is the star, and jabs it into the guy, and the guy doesn't die. He's still pulling a Terminator, groaning and coming after him. You would think, those star with those points that were like 3 or 4 inches long to the eye would at least blind you completely, or maybe that's why he wasn't talking.
He's
just grumbling.
He's probably related to Boris the Blade.
Yeah.
That would make sense, actually.
Or Boris the Bullet Dodger.
Yeah.
And then that's where we have him light the plug it in,
Yeah.
and the guy gets electrocuted, and then his entire head lights on fire. Which I'm glad they went the extra mile to.
I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but we had a plugged-in lights kill on our last film.
We did.
Silent Night.
Yeah. That was like the first one, I think.
Yeah. The adulterous
The adulterers.
ossifer.
Yeah. And this is where he goes to lick his wounds, so we go back to the family, and we learn that it was oil money, or money siphoned.
It was money that the U.S. government was funneling through this business to destabilize foreign regimes, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were calling it oil money to get it through the proper channels.
Yeah.
But instead of actually using the money like they were supposed to, they just kept it and used the fog of war to make it seem like it had all been lost.
Well,
Which, does that make them good guys?
From a certain perspective, probably.
They had to have been friends, I guess, with the people that they were going to give the money to. Oh, no, we gave it to your friend Jack. Just go ask him over in Afghanistan. And
No, it was probably more like they had a contract with all their secret companies, their secret groups. Like, hey, we need one of you to go and give this to people that'll use it to destabilize. They had the lowest bid.
Yeah. We'll do it for free. Just give us the cash.
Yeah, it's like, what are you going to do? Oh, we've got this. We'll figure it out.
We know what we're doing. And this is also when we pretty much show that the guy that played codename Krampus is a psychopath.
Yes.
And we have the Nutcracker scene.
Yeah. First he takes the finger with the small nutcracker.
Ugh.
And then they pull the floor standing nutcracker. He's like, hey, they don't call these things nutcrackers for nothing. Put your balls in here.
But Candy Cane refused to do that.
You want me to scoop some brains out? I'll
I feel
scoop
like
them out right now.
She was about to go
I'm
to
not touching his balls, though.
She was about to go to villain HR about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely a red line she was not going to go over.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Krampus will do it. He doesn't have a problem with it.
No, he was excited to
He's
do
like,
it.
what, balls? Nutcracker? Yeah. I'm in.
Just say he was really excited about all aspects of his job.
Yeah, that guy. And I've said this
He
about.
got creative.
I've said this about probably villains in the past, but that guy did not work a single day in his life.
Nope, not at all.
He enjoyed every second of what he was doing.
He was living his best life.
Yeah.
We're going to open presents now because you're all not going to make it through the night.
And that is one thing I didn't write down. The present opening sequence, I wrote the presents down because they were so fucking weird. Mike starts with a pitch deck for his movie that is big in parts of Asia.
Well, I mean, what better gift could you ask for than an investment opportunity?
Can I call you Mom? No. And then we had the sentimental photo of the daughter.
I should not have taken a drink right then.
Yeah.
That was perfect timing.
Oh, yeah. That was me the day I was born.
Yeah, I know. I was fucking there. And then they throw that one.
And what makes
swing
it
and a
great
miss.
is Krampus's commentary during the whole thing. Like, oh, she hates it.
Grabs the photo, just smashes it. And then we have the son, Jason's card, which she opens and goes, oh.
And he didn't want to do it in front of everybody. And little Bertrude was like, no, I saw you put it over there. Just go ahead and get the present.
Oh, shit.
Here,
Yeah, thanks,
I got
Bertrude.
it. Yeah.
And she's like, oh, thanks. And then, stashes it, which.
She reads it. There's a long pause.
Yeah. Which, once you realize what it is, she's like, yeah, I can't get my money because he's already fucking taken it and hidden it somewhere. So, none of this matters anymore. And that's when the kid runs away.
The kid?
Trudy.
Ah, yes.
She takes off and goes to hide in the attic with her
Gertrude.
walkie-talkie. Gertrude, yes. Gertrude the third. And that's where she starts talking to Santa, and he gets very descriptive about his past in that conversation.
Yeah, he does.
I thought that was a lot for a child.
Yeah.
He
How
was-
about you tell us about his past, Rob?
What I understood was that he was a Nordic warrior. What was his name? Did we write that down?
Something the Red.
Like Nicole the Red or something like that.
Nicola the Red.
And he used his hammer skull crusher. This is talking to a small child on the walkie-talkie to murder countless people and pillage their villages. He did not go into any description on how he became Santa, though.
Yeah, the transition. What's interesting, though, is when I was watching that, I was thinking about the Dresden Files. I don't know if you've ever read any of those.
I've read some of them, yeah.
Well, when you get further in, the main character, Harry, meets Odin, and then later on he meets Santa Claus and realizes they're the same person.
Oh.
And it's just like different aspects of the same being. So,
Well, and he does go through all of his names and like stuff like that later on. But yeah, as soon as he came in to fix himself up and he was repairing himself, I was like, oh, look at those Nordic tattoos. That's weird. And then they show, oh yeah, he was essentially Eric the Red is kind of the feel I got out of his little montage there.
here's the real question. Do you think that David Harbour went full method actor to become Santa by getting those actual tattoos?
I'm pretty sure he went with the kid from Holes and they got tattoos together.
Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah. Doesn't he have like a full chest tat from one movie that he did or some shit?
Probably.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I think he like went and got the actual chest tattoo done for the movie, and even the director was like, "Yeah, Jesus, that's a little much."
That sounds right.
It's a bold strategy.
I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
But I think you are right.
I need to look it up, but I think that's what he did because he's a little bit insane. Well, a lot.
He can spin a great yarn though.
He's got a good song about him.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. We've got she's up there hiding, and she actually says, "I'm going to do a Home Alone." She does.
Yeah, that's all she had watched the day before. She does the Kevin scream in the car
Yeah,
on the way over.
That's right. Yeah.
She executes amazingly, by the way.
And the mom was just like, "This is what I've dealt with for the last 24 hours."
Please God, kill me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in a car with my kids pretty soon. It's gonna be fun. And
Teach him the Home Alone first.
They've already seen it. I've got to teach them how to defend the household. Who cracks him in the face and knocks him out?
Mike.
It's the big dude. Because this is right after this is when Santa gets captured, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
He goes. He's fixing himself up. He tells her the story of him being a horrible murderer, and then
Yeah. That's while he's using like ornament hooks and
to stitch
like
himself
twine.
back up.
Yeah. Wrapping twine to stitch himself up, and then
He kind of passes out there for a minute.
the makeshift bandage is
It's
tape and wrapping paper.
Yeah.
So he's in that room, and I think it's Candy Cane is trying to get into where he is, and then John Leguizamo shows up with he grabs a fire extinguisher, throws it by the door, and shoots it, which explodes, and that knocks both the door and Santa back against the wall. And I think that's what knocks him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a John Wick moment there in the middle of the movie. And this is where it would essentially be a torture scene, but he's wrapped up in the chair with, of course, Christmas lights.
Mm-hmm.
And they're questioning him. And this sequence reminds me a lot of the Tim Allen Santa Claus because he starts just calling them out, like by their actual names or their code names. He's like, "Oh, you wanted a Huffy back in '98," shit like that. And you see the two
Gingerbread and candy cane.
Gingerbread and candy. I'm glad you're keeping track.
Yeah.
They're
This
like-
is the only movie where I actually remember names.
They're both like, that's a little specific and correct. And of course, what is it?
Oh, it's John Leguizamo was Scrooge, right?
Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah, that
Jimmy.
was his real name. And not having it. Throws his bag in the fire. Those kids' dreams, no. And what makes them go the other way? Something happens to where they leave him for a second.
The
snow.
asbestos.
Oh, the kid dumps all the asbestos down there. I'm glad that everyone thought the same thing. You just see it falling, you're like, they're gonna breathe that in.
Yeah.
And he stops it, and luckily there's enough belief at that point that he can use his little nose trick and shoot up the chimney. And only Gingerbread sees it,
Yes.
and he's having a moment. They're like, no, it's fine. And then we have the kill squad introduction right as that's happening. Did you guys hear jingle bells? That kind of thing.
Yeah, they're talking amongst each other in the living room. Everybody but little Trudy and
Mike Steele.
Mike Steele jumps up. Judy chops that one dude.
No,
and
he
dives up
drop kicks him
Yeah. So
Yells
he-
parkour.
Yeah.
as he's leaping over the couch. Yeah.
Which he also slid over the couch earlier to go.
To go to the panic room, yeah. But that's when he bails out, and in there we also get a little backstory. Just before that, we got backstory on Scrooge / Jimmy as to why he hates Christmas and
Oh, this
Santa
monologue,
Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it his best friend or his
Like-
brother?
No.
His neighbor.
His neighbors.
Oh, because he went over to rob them.
He
Yeah,
kills
that's
his
right.
neighbor's grandpa inadvertently.
Yeah. And then he's like, it was on purpose.
That was. I mean, it was kind of a funny monologue. I will say that had nothing on the Phoebe Cates monologue.
Oh, not even close. No.
Although probably nothing could really compare
That's-
to that. But
That's a high point. That's a high bar.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess all I'm saying is it's tough to really come out with a solid Christmas monologue because the bar is set so high.
It's almost infeasible to think of trying to pass that bar. It was a stretch, but I made it work.
Yeah.
And yeah, then they're like, "Oh, the kill squads are coming to save us." And Mike gets outside.
He runs out to meet this kill squad, basically,
Ah,
or runs into him.
yeah,
As
runs
he's
out
running
to him
away and leaving his wife and stepchild.
or stepchild, whatever it is.
I think it's just his girlfriend and her son.
He's just banging rich people to try and get his movie made. And
That's fair.
hey, I'm one of the hostages. It's like, oh yeah, we know. And then they just immediately execute him.
Yeah.
Before they do, though, he's like, yeah, I'm a famous actor. Listen, I've played a lot of soldiers, so thank you for your service.
Salutes him.
And then they shoot him.
And then they just execute him. Yeah. Again, Die Hard 2. That was the Die Hard 2 twist where
The snowmobiles.
the people that came in as extra security were actually part of the heist as well. A twist. And that's also where we have Santa run into the barn. The best part of the whole movie,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
by far. And I counted in that section 21 murders. Kills.
Before he kills them, though, he gets a pep talk from Gertrude, who basically tells him, because he doesn't know what to do, he's giving up, and she's like, no, Santa, I believe in you, you can murder all these people. Is basically what it comes down
Use
to.
your powers for good.
And she asks him, here's what's great. She asks him, if you could wish for one thing, what would it be? And he's playing with his wedding ring.
Yeah.
And he says, I'd want to see Mrs. Claus one last time. And then he has that oopsie moment where the wedding ring falls off and it starts rolling across the floor. And then it comes up against a sledgehammer.
An array of light from the
Yes.
moon.
He's temporarily replacing a skull crusher.
Yes, his new friend.
Yeah, and this thing had to be at least a 16-pounder. It was big.
It was very large, and he used it very well. He was doing like acrobatic shit with it, and you could tell he's had one around for a while.
Well, it's somehow he had a moment to put his hair in a man bun before getting into that fight.
Got to keep
So
that hair out of your face.
You know he was serious.
If you're going to get in a fight with a armed kill squad,
Yeah.
you got to take a moment and prep. Let's see. We had the sledgehammer. We had the candy cane that was clearly foreshadowed earlier.
Yep.
The ice skate, and then my personal favorite was the grenade, the icing on the cake.
Don't forget the wood chipper.
Oh,
or
fuck yeah.
The tiller or whatever it was.
The tiller, which I love that he starts it and then like finds a way to get a guy into it.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I'm going to go. I'll come back to this.
Proper planning.
He started it to lure him over or whatever, and they're like, oh, we hear noise. He must be over here.
Oh, and don't forget the ice skates.
The ice skate, that final ice skate hit with the holding the head up on the wall. That was a good one.
Yeah.
And then he throws the rope around the guy and then throws the other end of the rope into the tiller and just drags him in. At least it wasn't as slow as Silent Night. It was a little quicker.
Yeah.
And then,
And
he
these
goes.
guys went head first instead of foot first.
Yeah, the only thing missing from that scene was commentary by Alan Tudyk.
I wonder if we can get that in the DVD extras.
I hope so. Maybe it'll be part of the Snyder Cut.
It'll be 9.5 hours long. And
8 of those will just be the little kid on TikTok.
and it'll just be more flashes of him standing in the fire as the Nordic Viking demon man. And he kills all these people. I'm not even going to describe the actual horror. Let me say joy of how it goes down. But once he's finished them all off, he goes outside, and there's one guy left, and that guy's like, shit, and starts running away. He chases him down, tackles him. The guy pulls out a grenade to throw at him. He's already there, grabs a grenade, flips him over, shoves it down his pants, runs off.
Well, is it his pants or is it's like the back of his jacket, I think, to where he just can't reach
It's
it?
under his jacket, underwear.
It was somewhere where he couldn't get a hold of
where
it.
his plate carrier is, so it
Was that
keeps all the blast.
Well, didn't do a great job on that.
Well, it directs it in towards the body instead of
The blast, yeah.
outward.
Yeah, I can see that. And as he's running away, he kind of stops. He goes, I got to look. I got to watch.
Gotta watch.
And he turns around. It's just a... That was pretty good.
And then the grin on his face when he turns back to the camera.
Yeah.
It's real Christmas cheer, I think.
He's definitely found the Christmas spirit. And we almost immediately cut from there back to Trudy doing her Home Alone, which she has set up.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, this is the Home Alone I always wanted, and finally got, because she sets up the welcome mat or whatever it is with the drill bits and razors and stuff in it.
Yes.
And the gingerbread sees it and he's like,
once again, it's gingerbread and candy cane. The two that have kind of been the point people through everything up to this point.
He's like, well, you can't make a booby trap. It's not a booby trap if you can see it. You got to hide it. Or he looks at there's a nail in the access ladder that goes to the attic.
Yep.
But as he's seeing
that,
the camera pans to the step right above it. It's clearly cut right down the middle.
Yeah. You can't look everywhere.
Yeah.
that shot where he takes that step and just drops and the nail goes through the bottom of his chin.
Right. You're expecting it to be his foot, but no.
No. And he doesn't die or anything. He's just screaming and trying to get out of it, at which Candy Cane just walks right past him up the stairs and like pushes his head down so that she can get past him. God damn. And then I'll stick with him for a minute. He gets out of it and essentially falls backward, and all that shit that you had to have hid because it's a booby trap goes right in his ass, and he's stuck there bleeding. And then he goes and gets the nail, doesn't he? Because he gets up and grabs the nail, and that's when the bowling ball comes out. So when she gets up there, I've been talking the whole time. Someone describe this McAllister redux.
So when she gets up to the top, I think the little girl triggers something, Gertrude triggers something to where a bunch of bowling balls, which I don't know who stores bowling balls in an attic, but it's
rich folk.
Yeah, perfect for this scene.
And that was a shitload of them.
Yeah, they start bouncing on a trampoline, which we had seen her place on its side, and then shooting over toward the opening. So they start hitting Candy Cane, and she's just getting pummeled by these. But then, gravity is a thing. So after they go past her, they start falling down toward Gingerbread.
Yeah.
As he's staring at the nail.
Yeah, picks the nail out of the ladder and holds it up to his face. I thought it was going in his eye. Holds it up, and the bowling ball just hits it straight into his forehead.
Yeah, that last one she drops comes down and impales him, and
Which, of course, means he drops back onto the drill bits and
This time they're in his
razors
back.
in his back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much the end of old Gingerbread.
Yeah.
And then she gets to go through a whole fun list of shit.
At that point, he's ginger dead.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, we have like a mini Home Alone climax for like 5, maybe 10 minutes of her chasing Gertrude around.
Who is having the time of her
She
life.
is loving it.
Best Christmas ever.
and they actually they use some of the exact same
Like traps.
Traps.
Yeah. Which I did like some of those because it's the same trap, but the effect was what would really happen if you were
Yeah.
in that trap as opposed to just getting up and
and
smoking and going, ah.
and she continuously calls some of those out. She's
Yeah.
like, really? As she's throwing the center blocks. Like, really? This
Yeah.
is what we're going to do? Cuts them off, and as she looks up, Trudy's holding on to the heavy bag, swinging down, and
And they have the whatever the glue was on the floor.
yeah,
That was one that got
ripped part of her scalp off.
yeah, she got stuck on it.
Well, my favorite was when she goes, Gertrude's in a corner, and she's got like I don't know if it's one of those resistance bands or what.
Oh, yeah.
Just mounted to two sides. And so Candy Cane's coming up to her like, oh, you're done for now. And so Gertrude takes, two just toy balls, and she's pulling them back and launching them. Massive grin on her face, and it's doing nothing. And then she does it with a barbell.
Nails her in the face.
And it just, it was just so absurd.
It just escalated from a dodgeball to a tennis ball to a huge dumbbell.
If you can dodge a dumbbell, you can dodge a ball.
That was fantastic. And then when she actually makes the run at her, you have, again, in Home Alone, you have the
Shovel.
old scary man hit him with the snow shovel. And in this, you have Santa bash her to death with the
Catches her mid-chest with the sledgehammer and just tosses her across the room.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And at that point, he tells, because they realize she's still alive. So he tells Gertrude, he's like, hey, can you do me a favor? Just turn around. Put your hands over your eyes. Maybe put your fingers in your ears. Sing
Jingle bells.
Jingle Bells as loud as you can. So this little girl is happily singing Jingle Bells while he walks over and just smashes Candy Cane in the face. With
You got that first person looking up, and then the hammer comes down. And that's catches us up to like kill 24, 25 maybe. I think I got 29 out of the whole movie.
That's all.
Something like that.
Did you count all the personal security guards that got killed at the beginning?
Oh, just the Santa kills.
Okay.
He wears red so you can't see him bleed. And
Indeed.
yeah, kills her. And then this is also when they now know where the money is. They've threatened to shoot somebody. The
Yeah.
daughter, I guess? No, the
No,
wife.
he said he was just going to randomly start shooting people.
yeah, and of
And
course
that's
the
when
the
Gertrude.
if you just start shooting random people, what if you shoot the person that actually knows the money? And he's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
The one useful thing that
The one thing, yeah. And then eventually Jason gives it up, and they take him out, and you have your moment with the sister and the sister-in-law and shit kid, where they end up pretty much beating Krampus to death. And they have you ever seen The Ref?
no.
Dennis Leary, Kevin Spacey.
I don't think so.
Another Christmas movie. And it's the same kind of thing. He's standing there with the machine gun ready to execute them. And they start having this argument. And he's like, shut the fuck. Shut up. Starts yelling at him
They're arguing about who's going to get shot first,
about who to shoot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kill
they're-
kill that. No. And
throwing each other right into the bus,
yeah,
like any good family.
exactly. And that's when the sister throws it's got to be high level vodka into the fire and surprises old Krampus. And then they beat the shit out of him with fireplace instruments. And no, he's not quite dead because he jumps up and then she shoves it through his throat.
But you know what? He died doing what he loved.
He really did. He was having a great time right up until that last moment.
Yeah. I think at that point, they've uncovered the money.
Yep. They found out that Jason had stolen it so that he could get away from his family once and for all.
That's when they come in after killing Krampus. They come running out and attack, right? Or am I missing a part?
Santa
Claus comes strolling in the room.
Yeah, he comes in with
Trudy.
With Trudy, and says, "Does anyone know how to use one of these Hoosie Daddies or whatever?" He calls it some weird name, and the wife's like, "Well, I used to go hunt with my dad," and he throws it at her. And in movies, it's usually pretty easy, but in real life, guns are heavy, and she's like, "Oh shit!" I like that. And then she's out there shooting at him while they're starting to take off with the money. That's essentially when
she didn't hit a whole lot, but
she did hit that one guy in the dick though.
Yeah.
And this starts the chase montage here at the end, but you also have the fight with the random badass whatever he was in the kill squad that is just taking out the mom and dad, and
who looks really goofy because he's still wearing his toy soldier outfit.
Yeah, they all kept all their catering outfits on the entire time.
Yeah,
spectacular.
Yeah, I mean they were there to play a part.
They had a theme and they stuck to it.
They don't half-ass anything in that crew.
I mean that's a good way
whole
to
ass one thing.
That's a good litmus test for a solid heist crew, because if they're throwing off the theme, then who knows what else they're not paying attention to.
Yeah, and maybe you won't be able to recognize them in a minute, and you end up shooting one of them accidentally.
Yeah, it's all about the details.
That's why you got to be all together on those things.
Figured the tactical kit would give it away.
Yeah,
and
then they use an icicle, which was it? What did you say? The perfect weapon?
Oh no, I said it's the weapon that disposes of itself.
Disposes of itself.
Yeah,
yes.
There we go.
That was a really cold way to do things.
There it is.
Santa just grabs a sled and goes running after the snowboards.
He takes the manger.
Tosses
baby Jesus aside.
Oh no, tosses it into the arms of
Jason.
No, of Mary. Because Jason.
Oh yeah.
Jason later grabs it and uses
and
it
hits
to
the guy in the head with it. Yeah,
and it doesn't work.
No, not at all. But yeah, him riding the manger down, definitely one of the goofiest scenes in it. But him taking that dude out with it was pretty fun, and just the dumbness of that chase where the guys are like, "Oh, what was that?" and they run to a tree and shit like that.
Yeah,
it was very Stormtrooper.
Yep.
And John Leguizamo was able to goad him because he took out like 3 people with something like that, and then there's a random barn with him standing in front of the
it looked like an old
tree stump,
crappy cabin.
Yeah,
it was a speed stump.
It was.
He hit it and went flying. Him and the snowmobile
right into the cabin in the woods
with
and that's the
spectacular outdoor fireplace.
But that's the moment. That's when John Leguizamo's character, he steps inside and he sees something lying on the ground, and you see him thinking, whatever is this? So he picks it up. It's like a scroll, a magical scroll. And when he opens it up, it has his name and all of the bad things he's done, at least one of which is killed his best friend, which is, not a very chill thing to do.
Jimmy Martinez killed his best friend.
And at that point, he knows that Santa is real, and he only has one choice. Actually, he has 2 choices. One choice would just be to say, okay, I am clearly in the wrong here. I need to change my ways.
Whoops-a-daisies.
But he chooses option B, which is try and kill Santa Claus. So, moving on.
To end Christmas once and for all or something like that.
Yeah.
He had a couple goofy lines in there. And, he finds a rock climbing pick, those pickaxe, whatever they are. Yeah. And then, of course, Santa has his trusty sledgehammer still.
Yes.
And that fight goes on for a minute until they realize that they've lit in the gasoline that was falling out of the snowmobile.
So they both run, like, screaming out of the building.
Yeah.
Like, the fight's over at this point. They're not fighting for a minute. They're both just trying to get out of the building, and it explodes. Another goofy-ass scene that was just fun to watch. And then they continue the fight.
With John Leguizamo's ice shoes.
Yeah.
Using that toe pick.
Which...
Do you get the reference?
The toe pick?
Yeah.
I guess not.
From The Cutting Edge.
Oh, God.
Where
the ice hockey player was... Yeah. I know what you're talking about, sadly.
Yeah, my sisters used to watch that all the time.
Yeah, I had TBS. But this was also my favorite kill in the whole movie,
Yes.
hands down. When he knows he's Santa, so the belief is there. And yeah, maybe the house is gone, but the chimney still exists. And he's got him. He's stabbed him a couple times in the chest with the axe. And he uses the nose trick while still holding or like almost hugging Leguizamo.
Well, but here's before you get to that
Go
point.
ahead.
All right, this is where he's about to give the finishing move, and he says, "Last Christmas ever." And at that point, Santa says, "Not while someone still believes," and because Jimmy believes at this point.
Yep.
So that sets it up for what happens next.
Grabs him, and we have Santa. We have not mentioned this. Kind of turns into like a gold dust stuff. Shoots up the chimney or down the chimney, and then kind of Star Trek reassembles. In this case,
That would be the Christmas magic.
the Christmas magic that he doesn't fully understand.
Yep.
In this case, he does do that, but enveloped in that gold dust stuff is Jimmy's body, which is essentially sucked up through the chimney and crushed into a little tube of human meat.
Basically shears off all his limbs.
And when he comes out the top, it explodes a geyser of blood, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, and Santa's just holding the remains of a torso.
Just like the trunk. And then he gets shot like 4 times.
Oh yeah, that's because the commando guy who is still alive shows up, and that's a great moment because he just looks at him like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna kill you.
I don't know what the hell's happening here, but
Like he kind of has the same approach as Santa. I don't understand this Christmas magic, but yeah, I came here to do something, and this is what's gonna happen.
and then again, Beverly D'Angelo is a crazy bitch in this movie, and she comes up and just shoots the guy on the side of the head, point blank, no remorse. Yeah, I could see her stealing $350 million from the government, $300 million from the government.
Yeah, that blood splattering is pretty gross point blank shot.
Yeah, that was good. I do think one thing missing from this movie was a reindeer impalement. I think that could have been like one last little there at the end, instead of them just sitting on the field and have them like fly in and something juicy. And then of course everyone gathers around as Santa dies and bleeds out. The end.
They try and keep him warm as he lays on a sheet of ice by burning the money. She's like, no. Let's talk about this first. Is this really worth it?
The sister, yeah.
Didn't think that one through too well.
But you know what they say. Every time a heap of cash gets burned, a Santa gets his life.
Santa's lungs work again. So yeah, of course they all decide, I believe. And he comes back and they're like, shit, you were dead just a minute ago. He's like, I told you I don't understand how this shit works.
Yeah.
Just sticks with that moniker the entire movie. And it worked out for him. And he kind of sits up and he's like, well, there's my reindeer. The worst part about this for him is he had to go back to fucking work. Like 10 minutes later, he goes back to work. But also he's over there shitting on the reindeer, and then he finds the note from Mrs. Claus, that was his Christmas wish, was to see her one more time.
And he can't stay mad at the reindeer. I can never stay. I can never stay angry at you guys.
They went and picked up his spare bag.
Yeah. And Skull Crusher.
Well, Mrs. Claus put that in there for him.
Yeah. I thought you might need this, which she was about 2 hours too late, but it's a good lady.
Clearly, she doesn't understand that magic any better than he does.
No. She's like, at some point, he's probably going to need this. I mean, he's going to have to bash somebody in. And he got a few good ho-ho-hos in there.
Cutting it.
Yeah. Time to start murdering people in their houses. Got some ho-ho-hos in, and then did the full-on Merry Christmas, the reindeer call. I want to know if that was his ask. If David Harbour was like, let me do one like Santa thing. You can call the reindeer at the end. All right, fuck it. Yeah, that'll work. That was it.
And scene.
Except for little shithead.
And then Bertrude live streaming her TikToking a dead commando.
Santa's
Like,
real,
Santa's
fellas.
real.
Like, you're going to go to jail, kid.
Yeah, sure. A hefty guy in a big red suit came in and murdered all these people at their house.
Explain that. All in all.
They had to do was slide one of those stacks of money over. Like, this didn't happen. You guys weren't here. Yep, looks like a false alarm.
I think as soon as he leaves, I would wish for Christmas for my house to get cleaned up. Like, that would be my immediate wish. And then, I'd love to see him like an hour later turn around and be like, who the fuck did this? Whose wish was this? Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that a couple more times. That was fantastic. That's
Yeah.
going on my list.
Yeah, he would just go get the elves in that case.
He was giving the elf shit a little bit there at the end. Harbour's great in this, and the violent part is 100% on par. If you like that kind of stuff, I mean, it gets an A at least. It's not decapitation, crazy horror violent, but it's up there, and it's pretty good.
Well, I mean, that last kill was pretty hefty.
That's true. Yeah, the trunking of
Yeah.
of Jimmy.
Scrooge.
Yeah, Scrooge. Yeah, this is fantastic. I'm watching
Yeah.
it. I'm watching it more times
Absolutely.
for sure.
I was right. I told you as soon as
Yeah.
James and I went to watch it, I was like, "You're gonna appreciate this
Yeah,
film."
you were 100% correct. This was fantastic.
What we forgot was the song that was playing while he was killing all those people.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it about 50 minutes ago. It's the one I'm going to put in for the transition.
Okay, perfect.
That'll be that song. Yeah,
Oh,
I wrote down Barn song on the top of the.
So for all you listeners, this will be the song that you already have listened to.
Yeah, the one that you're already like, why the hell did they play that? Because he murders 27 people in a barn to that song. That is why, and it's delightful.
You just need a good soundtrack to get back on your game
Absolutely.
for a little murder montage.
If you're gonna win Miss Claus back, you gotta, or whatever the hell it was they were going on, you gotta sing loud for all to hear while you murder the shit out of them. It was pretty cut and dry for the most part. Just
Yeah.
damn funny.
Yeah, it was what
enjoyed
it
it.
was. Yeah,
It was. I thought it was just as good the second time through.
I think the fact that they didn't try and add too much depth to it, it was,
Yeah, they didn't go back for the bag in the fire. They didn't explain the origins of him becoming Santa Claus. They didn't go through.
I'd like the hints at him at just that little snippet of the Santa Claus origin story.
Yeah,
because you don't need it. As
Yeah.
long as you know, okay, we have a general idea.
Santa
Fine.
used to
Yeah.
be a badass.
which I mean, it's the same thing we saw in Fat Man, where you have that illusion that this guy is kind of a badass, and that's all you needed for the fights to work at all, and they worked. Sledgehammer play. Is there a Sledgehammer porn? Probably. Yeah. What else? Anything else we need to address? We need to unwrap for this one.
Not really. I do fully expect to show up here at some time in the next month or two and find a sledgehammer.
There's one somewhere here.
Oh, but like one, like his,
Yeah.
like Skull
Oh.
Crusher.
The actual
Yeah.
Vanaheim.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have not seen this, it's still in theaters. It just got released today on Amazon on demand. Watch it. It's worth it. If you like any of the shit that you've heard us talk about,
It's definitely worth the watch in theaters.
bring your kids,
Or don't.
your older family members.
We had small children with us when we watched
bring,
it.
bring your pets.
Oh, I bet.
Bailey's youngest.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Another day at the office for Santa.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good.
I mean, he is
Yep.
kind of the top tier postal worker.
Oh, yeah. He's first and the last, I guess. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Talking with Words. You know where to find us. Go to robgilchristbooks.com. Hey, buy some of my books for your friends for Christmas, family members, strangers, people in the street that you've never seen or talked to before. Just hand them to people.
And Skeletron.
And, oh, fuck yeah.
There we go.
Sean. I was thinking of what else we needed in this movie. Thanks for listening, and I'm going to try and get this out before Christmas. So in that case, that would be Merry Christmas 2022.
Yay.
Yeah. All right. Ho, ho.
Are we recording?